All right, bro. So Tommy Richman, 11 tracks, 37 minutes. Man, it's funny. So I'll give you guys some insight. Offline, I heard this song a couple days ago and I texted Blair. I'm like, bro, I don't know what to think about this. And then I gave like another listen like 3 hours later, bro. And I was like, I get it now. I get it. Bro, very entertaining. Like, I honestly, I can't wait to like Selection and those DJs get their hands on this because they're going to have a field day with this, bro. Like,
yeah.
Like his voice, there's going to be certain songs where you remove the like instruments and like the beat and then played over like maybe some like Sade shit or something. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, he does a really good job messing with his voice in a way. And I don't want to steal your thunder, so I'll refrain from any like TikTok references. But yeah, like I just love that this feels very much like a soulful album that I think needs to be listened to in that setting. Whereas like I fucked up and just listened to it at the gym and I'm trying to get like reps in and it's just like, bro, this is like what's happening here, you know? But when I was in my backyard or my garage, just vibing, a spritz in my hand, yeah, it was very much like a get up and like move your feet kind of a thing. So I really enjoyed it. How about you?
I really enjoyed it as well. In terms of the setting, I was just in my apartment. It was the morning. I didn't have a whole lot to do. So I think that's why I was able to kind of digest the album. I'd say things I really appreciate about it was the length, no Diddy, perfect amount of songs. Like I really hate the bloated albums that a lot of artists will typically create, clearly like a streaming tactic, but kept it short. It seemed like the production was different on every song, which is surprising to me because I feel like a lot of artists, once they break out, they're like, let me recreate the one or two hits like 15 times and hopefully people will love me. But he clearly was doing what he wanted to do artistically. I like that you mentioned the Selection thing because throughout the whole album, I'm like, damn, this album was so like remixable or like sample worthy, like, and I like vaporwave and all kinds of like lo-fi songs, and I feel like just the vibe is very easy to make, you know, soulful stuff like that, especially like 80s influence stuff. So overall it was fun. I'm particularly glad that he seems like he's not trying to fall into the TikTok trap of, you know, recreating the success he had there. Interestingly enough, you know, I know we talked about it, but he didn't have the 2 singles on there, which is kind of odd. Figured those would at least be on there, but again, maybe it's because he really wants to carve a lane for himself that isn't just, you know, a 1-hit wonder or 2-hit wonder. So yeah, overall, I think it's great. It's refreshing, change of pace from all the, you know, lackluster pop and hip hop that's out. So happy for him.
Yeah, super happy for him. I think a couple of times you used the phrase. So I think what drove this album for me home and about him, honestly, was I think there was a lot of artistry here that I wasn't expecting. I mean, again, $1 Million Baby and Devil Is a Lie. I think that's the same second song.
Yeah.
But like those songs, clearly there's like, it takes skill, but those could easily be put in that TikTok. You were looking for a hit, so you kind of went extreme, blah, blah, blah. Dude, again, I feel like him removing or not having those songs on this album was a sign that he didn't want to do that. I think those songs ended up just being TikTok successes because they're just bangers. I mean, clearly they maybe weren't intentional, who knows? But now that we're getting more music from him, it just feels like he's trying to make it very clear, like, bro, like I'm an artist, right? And like my things may be trendy, but that's because I'm trendy, right? Like, and I'm on this new wave that you guys should kind of like jump on. But, and I also like, I mean, in a bigger scheme of things, like the streaming stuff we spoke about, like I kind of like he didn't include those 2 songs because if he did, I do think that means the album like automatically like goes platinum or some shit because those 2 songs are so, you know, those numbers are so inflated. So like I like that we can now judge this body of work by itself, right? As opposed to like, oh, he sold 450,000 copies, but 425,000 was $1 Million Baby or some shit, you know? So, yeah, I like that. Again, I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence that he only had 11 songs and not 25. Like, again, I think this is, again, especially because when you see him for the first time, you don't know what to really expect. But I think everything encompassing, I think he's really trying to carve out his own lane as like an artist and not just that guy from TikTok that got really famous in like the spring of 2024.
Yeah, no, I think it's really dope that he seemingly doesn't care about the numbers and accolades all that much. And I got that sense too that, maybe he just wants a true sense of how this album performs rather than having the two singles just completely inflate the numbers and have him second guess, his art or his approach to music. So yeah, salute to him. I think he's gonna be one of the few artists that remain out of this like TikTok vacuum of artists. So I'm looking forward to hearing him do more music, but also collaborate with more artists who I guess are actively popular. Yeah, in that lane, who can do maybe adapt to his sound and vice versa. Like it'd be interesting to hear his voice on, I don't know, like a Kanye track or something, but also name anybody like Drake try to do something on a song like that is more soulful or like 80s sounding. So
I think he's very much trying to be in that lane with artists who like also aren't that famous, right? Because I think the Brett Fayez or Faizen, I always
Brett Fayez.
Yeah, again, obviously he's famous, he's famous, but he's not like the mall shuts down famous. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I think he's also in that lane of like an artist who's trying to be different, even though he has such popular songs. So I see why those kind of collabs kind of work right now because, yeah, he's like of a certain level, but he's also trying to keep it at a certain level and not get, fucking super inflated.